Let me get this out at the top. Okay, Cory.
Yep, Superman, go.
It's Spider-Man.
Go.
Spider-Man was one of the best experiences I've had in a cinema since Avengers Endgame. And it's got to be said. And I know you don't give a shit, but goddamn, that movie, dare I say, is amazing. You get it?
You went and saw it on opening night on a Friday
Amazing
with a
Spider-Man.
packed theater. I see what you did.
Yeah.
With a packed theater, you went and saw it. I don't care about movies in the way that you do, but I'm excited that you liked it, and I'm excited that you had a good time. I'm scared of you for the next 10 days, but
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm excited for you. Every time you go to some mass event, I stay away from you for 10 days.
I'm going out of my way to get Omicron for sure.
You're doing your best, but you have taken the proper precautions.
I'm boosted.
I understand. I get the booster seat too sometimes when I go to restaurants, but even though I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to Aquaman movie that you went and saw, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed a movie in the last week as well.
Did you ever watch like the OG Spider-Mans?
No.
Like the Tobey Maguire or
Yes.
Yeah.
What I remember of Spider-Man is there was one where the kid from that 70s show was the evil.
Oh God, that's
Spider-Man.
the worst one. Yeah.
And then there was this big dude that was made of sand. I didn't understand that much. Then
Sandman,
I saw the
Sandman
then
does
I
make
saw-
an appearance in this movie.
Oh, he made a pyramid. Get it? Pyramid, like the pyramids are made of sand. Oh, double gun point.
Yeah.
Double gun point.
I
wink,
will
wink.
only say Sandman is in this movie because that's not a spoiler because it's in the trailers.
All right. Well, spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. Superman dies. Here's the thing. What I remember of Spider-Man movies is the one with the actor guy who witnesses the old man getting killed in the car from a carjacking gone wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then that old lady who had a horrible, horrible cry face. Oh, Peter. Like, oh,
The one with
lady.
Green Goblin in it.
I don't know. There was somebody that was green in it.
Okay, had Willem Dafoe.
Well, yes.
Dude. Willem Dafoe.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't notice William Dafoe with his face all green.
Willem Dafoe. He's great, and he's back in this movie actually.
And the cool mask when William Dafoe's character got mad. The mask that would talk to him in the room. That was cool.
Yeah.
See, I know a little bit, but I'm not all invested as you are. That's all I know. That's all I got.
Well, he's back in this movie actually, Willem Dafoe, and
Baby, I'm back.
Doctor Strange does some stuff, and it opens some portals. There's some shenanigans, but that's all I'll say with Spider-Man. It was fantastic.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I don't want to spoil it. I think if you watched it, dude, like straight up, I think you would really like it. When it
tell you what,
when it comes out in video, we'll watch it.
If it was ever in a theater, like when you went and saw The Matrix, I'm there.
Yeah.
That's my perfect theater experience. And I know I'm overshadowing what happened because nobody knows.
Well,
Jake, please explain what happened when you went to see The Matrix.
Well, yeah, because they were doing a showing of the original Matrix, the 1999 Matrix, and it was in IMAX, and I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing. I was, 5 years old in 1999 when The Matrix came out, so obviously I didn't see it in theaters.
Little baby.
I was a little baby. But The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. I'm pretty confident in saying that. And I just love that movie. And I was like, oh, it's an IMAX. I bet everyone's dying to get this. And I bought my ticket, but I bought it like a week early. And I was like, oh, I'm the first one to buy tickets. All right. Didn't think much of it. I was like, I'm sure there will be people there. I bought them early because I'm like, dude, people are going to be,
lining up around the corner.
Yeah.
They're going to be lined up around the corner for this movie.
This is, a cinema classic. Like, how do you not want to see this in IMAX?
How would you not want to go?
I show up. I sit down. There's no one in the theater. No one. Like,
Insert
literally.
cricket sounds here.
I sent Cory a video, and it was during the previews, and I just stood up and like turned around, and there was no one in there. Someone did show up, right before the movie started. It's just a couple right behind me, so it was them and me. And actually, that was kind of awesome because we ended up like looking at each other and like quoting the movie to each other.
See, I would have got up and left if anybody else would have came in. That would be my perfect movie experience, as I mentioned. No one else there.
Yeah.
But the moment somebody else would have walked in, I would have been out. I would have been done. But here's my question. When you sent me that video, I came up with a question in my mind, and I've held it in my mind movie until we did the show. If there are no tickets sold for a movie, does that theater still run that movie to the seats?
No, they'll shut it down.
So they're just going to let the theater go black? They're just going to let the theater go dark? They won't actually run it? Is someone actually up there behind the IMAX machine loading, or is all that pre-programmed for the day?
No, I think there's someone actually. Yeah, there's what are they called? I don't know. Yeah, there is a guy that like does it, loads them up, and yeah.
So you don't think that at the beginning of the day or the night before, there's some computer program that programs all of these screens to play at certain times? Because they have, theaters, movies start in between other movies. You never get a movie starting at the same time. It's very rare unless it's a very large theater. But if there is no one there and that program in that theater is already programmed to run that feature, do you think there's a program that still runs that feature and that program's not aware of whether or not tickets have been sold?
I don't know. I think a dude presses play up there. I think there's like a guy that like calibrates the projector. A projectionist, I think is what they're called. Yeah. They like calibrate.
We need to make friends with someone at an IMAX.
Well, I had a friend that worked at a movie theater and would say, I guess it depends on the movie, like I saw The Matrix, it was, at 10 o'clock at night. So it was one of the last movies running. So they probably would have just shut that down and been like, all right, let's go home, or like, let's clean the theater. Let's get it over with. No one's here.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, because I would think that everything's automated at this point because everything is so strategically timed in a theater, because they want to control the flow of the people. I would think that those times and those run times are predetermined by some type of algorithm somewhere, taking into consideration the length of the movie and the size of the theater that it's programmed to run in, and then how long it would take for people to funnel out of that theater and back in. I think it's a very deep matrix that program, that there's a program behind. And if that matrix is so deep, that movie is going to run no matter what. Well, then again, if the matrix is that deep, the matrix is most likely reading what's happening at the ticket counter.
Well, let me tell you this, Cory. If you want to know about the Matrix, you can take the red pill and you can go down the rabbit hole. Take the blue pill. Stay in Wonderland.
5, 6, 7, 8.
What is up, boyos? Welcome to the Jake and Cory podcast. My name is Jake. That over there is Cory. You can't see me pointing, but I did. That's Cory. What's up, Cory?
You poked me in the eye when you pointed.
I'm sorry.
My name is Jake.
What? It is? Cory, mm-hmm. I want to ask you something, okay?
I'm willing to entertain a question.
What movie did you watch? At the opening of the show, you said you watched something. I need to know. What were you watching?
I did. Good throwback. I did kamikaze movie watching.
Okay.
And though Austin's going to get mad at me, I'm going to say it anyway. Austin, it's a double dip, because I talked about this on Fat Guy. I'm going to talk about it here.
That's okay. I promise you, I'm doing a full spoiler cast of Spider-Man. So, like, Don't even worry about it.
No, Austin, I love you. I love my little Austin. I can't wait to put my mouth on his mouth. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really great. Yeah, we're gonna mouth each other.
Oh.
I was doing kamikaze Amazon watching, and I was just flipping through. Actually, you know what? Matter of fact, now that I think of it, I was watching Scrubs because I watch Scrubs before I go to bed every night. Scrubs puts me to sleep, and Scrubs is only available it's on the Hulu too, but this is on Prime. But when I started one episode, it showed an advertisement for an Amazon movie, and this movie was on that advertisement, and I saw one actress that really got my goat, and I said, okay, I've not hated anything she's been in, so I put it in my watch list.
What's the actress?
Octavia Spencer.
Oh, I love her. She's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Octavia Spencer.
Wonderful.
So
she was in Spider-Man, the original one. For about a split second, but she's there. She's in it.
Did they kill her? Did she cry?
No, she works for the wrestling company where Spider-Man ends up wrestling Bonesaw. Anyway.
Bonesaw
so, is ready.
It was Octavia Spencer, and the movie was titled Encounter. And it was flagged as sci-fi. And on Fat Guy, we determined that I actually do like sci-fi. But it was Octavia Spencer. I didn't know who the other actors were. I'm sorry, I don't have their names up in front of me. Encounter on Amazon Prime. But I watched it, and Jake, it literally had me on the seat of my pants because the description of this movie on the seat of my pants.
What? Oh, this shit just came out.
It literally just came out. But I'm sorry, it didn't have me. I was still thinking about Austin when I was thinking about the seat of my pants. It had me at the edge of my seat.
I got you.
In my pants.
I follow.
You hear me clucking Big Chicken. So it captured me, and it held my attention, and I watched it from start to finish. Because it just came out, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I will say that what I was hoping was going to happen never happened. But that's what kept me in the movie, because the whole movie seemed like it was going in a direction where you were expecting a redirection, and the redirection never happened. And that could sound frustrating, but in actuality, that is what the selling point of this movie was. That it didn't redirect when you thought it was going to redirect. When you thought that the person in the movie was supposed to be, this is going to screw it up if I say that, so I don't want to say that.
Yeah, no spoilers. This is a short movie, actually. An hour 40 minutes. It's short. That's
what I loved about it, too. But Octavia Spencer is in it. She plays one of the second main roles. Even though she always looks like she's crying, I watched it because of her. I discovered two little kid actors that were absolutely hilarious and gave a powerful performance in this. And it's a cute story. Now, from you may watch it, Jake, and you may say it's dumb, because remember that movie that you told me about where they built the train to go to the center of the earth?
The Core, yeah.
The Core. You thought that was stupid and you panned it.
Yeah,
I was ripping my yam bag over the back of my head because I liked it so much.
It is a movie I think about often, though. So I mean, there's something to be said there.
Right, but I liked it. I liked this stupid movie.
About Encounter, this movie here, it has Riz Ahmed in it, and he was in that movie Sound of Metal, which is a fantastic movie, and he's a fantastic actor.
Okay, so I didn't know who he was, but he gives every actor, and some of the reviews on Amazon, and this isn't spoiling it, some of the reviews on Amazon said, phenomenal acting, stupid storyline. There is some stupid, crazy acting in this movie. Okay, I can't take anything away from that. I particularly enjoyed the storyline because the storyline took me somewhere mentally that I never got to, but I enjoyed the ride thinking that I was going to get to somewhere that I didn't get to. And that intrigued me. It was basically, it wasn't as predictable as you thought it was going to be. And I liked it that. And it was just by happenstance.
I'm intrigued.
You know,
I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes here. It is technically rated rotten, but it's got a 50.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, it's a 55%. And a lot of people misunderstand how Rotten Tomatoes works. They think, 55%, that means that the critics gave it a 55% out of 100. That's not what that means. It means that 55% of critics thought it was good, while the other 55% or the other 45% thought it was bad. So
it was about the same way on the Amazon Prime reviews as well. It was split right down the middle between 5 stars and 1 star with a couple of 2, 3, and 4 stars in there.
Well,
if I was to write a review, I would have given it 5 stars, because what everybody was complaining about in the reviews is what actually made me enjoy the movie. And that sounds weird.
Here's an interesting review here from a critic. And I want to hear what you have to say. No spoilers, of course. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm actually curious what you have to say about this. It says, exactly half of a good movie.
Yeah.
Do you agree
and
with
that's
that?
Because I agree with it, but I agree with it because it was exactly half of a good movie. But that's what drew me to it. That's what kept me going, is that I believe what a lot of those reviews are, Jake, because I read a lot of them too. A lot of those reviews are people that were let down by the movie because it was not predictable. Well, it wasn't. When you watch it, you think that one thing is going to happen, and in actuality, the opposite happens.
It seems as though people are like, it was so close to being a good movie, and then it wasn't. Like the people who disliked it, and then everyone else who's like, I liked it. Like everyone who
there's like no in between in a way. You're either you loved it or you hated it almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say the people that dislike it seem to be like, it could have been better, but like it had moments. So yeah, I'll check it out. Why not?
Check it out. It's Octavia Spencer. What did you say that other guy's name was? Ravit Shamit.
Riz Ahmed.
You beat your meat. What was it? He
was in Sound of Metal, which is a fantastic movie, and he was also in Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Now read the description of the movie,
okay,
if you will, if you have that.
Let me see. Here we go. A decorated Marine goes on a rescue mission to save his 2 young sons from a mysterious threat. As their journey takes them in increasingly dangerous directions, the boys will need to leave their childhoods behind.
The truth to that description is the first line. That second line, they really never focused on the fact that the kids had to leave their childhood behind. There's very little reference to their childhood in the movie.
It's a fucking cool poster.
Oh yeah, it totally is. There's several of them.
You know what I hate this in movies, dude. I'm sure you've seen it, like the movie posters where it's just a bunch of heads. Just a bunch of celebrity heads that are stacked on. Like, I hate that shit. Like,
the Wizard of Oz movie poster, the original one, is like that.
Not exactly. Let me see. Wizard of Oz poster.
I own one of the original Wizard of Oz movie posters.
Well, I mean, this is a little different. This is like showcasing the characters. Also, very old movie. Like
very, very old movie.
They
very old movie.
They didn't have like Photoshop back then,
I saw it when it first came out. I saw it on opening night.
Oh yeah.
I'm that old.
No, like look up the poster to like Avengers Endgame. Like Avengers Endgame.
Is this an example of what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like Avengers Endgame poster. Like it's still a cool poster, I guess. But there's so many posters like it where it's just like, here's the celebrities, or animated movies now. The poster will literally just be like, here's all the celebrity names. Like that's just the posters.
That looks like reminiscent of the Wizard of Oz poster, and I think Hunger Games is similar. No, Hunger Games has like 3/4 of Candace Aberdeen's back.
It's just like I wish that people put more like thought into their posters. Yeah. Like instead of just like showing me the characters, like do something cool, you know, something artsy.
I can kind of see why you're frustrated with that because like I saw a separate one. There was another one. Oh, that's Avengers Infinity War. It's the same thing basically.
Yeah, all of the Marvel movies are like that. But then if you look at like the Japanese posters of Avengers Endgame, like they're the coolest posters. Like the coolest.
Ooh. See, this is why I don't like looking at it because I just found something on Etsy. Abstract Infinity posters. Ooh, these are cool looking. Let's see if I can show them to you.
Oh.
Aren't those kind of cool?
Yeah. See, that's a cool poster. Like to promote your movie.
Wouldn't sell tickets.
Like here's just like the glove. Like that's a cool fucking poster though. That's way cooler.
It's the glove, and then it has like 3 dots above it that are like a color swatch from the movie.
Yeah, like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah. Oh, duh. Yeah, they are Infinity Stones. It's $48 on Etsy, but I don't really trust Etsy.
Yeah, those are way cooler. I like that way more than like here's a bunch of heads. It doesn't because that doesn't tell me anything about your movie. You know, just a bunch of heads. It's just like okay, I know who's in your movie. But.
See, so what drew me to keep watching Encounter is that the description of the movie really is only half of what happened. So there was like some misleading. So I didn't get, and DT had mentioned this on Fat Guy, that he likes the fact that he goes into a movie with one ideal, but he doesn't have all the details. So you like this Avengers Etsy poster because it doesn't showcase like everything Avengers.
Yeah.
It's very abstract.
Yeah. I prefer that.
That makes sense.
I prefer the like abstract poster for sure. And like actually this movie Encounter here has a pretty cool poster. It is heads for sure, but it's like his head is exploding and like the characters are like coming out of his head. Like that's a cooler poster than just your regular like here's all your big heads. You know? Cuz it's like that could be an artistic expression in and of itself. The poster, you know?
I may have to buy that, dude, because there's another one that's like really freaking awesome. I don't know if it's real though. Same movie, but look at this one. It's a big eye.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I think I want the other one though, that the one where you described with Octavia Spencer in his head.
Yeah.
This one, right? This one is what the one you were looking at?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I want that one. Now, what's the name of that lead actor again?
Riz Ahmed.
Yeah, he's dreamy and he's shirtless a lot in this movie.
Dude, you should watch Sound of Metal. I think you'd like it.
Well, not shirtless a lot, but...
Sound of Metal is about a drummer who finds out that, or he doesn't find out, he goes deaf. And it's about him having to learn how to be deaf, basically. And it's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
It was a really good movie. I was shocked that it was, just that I just tripped over it. But that's what I ended up watching. Octavia Spencer, another beautiful, masterful performance. We talked about her in Ma. Did you ever see Ma?
Oh yeah.
She's a fucking lunatic in that movie. I love it. Man, I want to learn how to sew people's lips closed.
Octavia Spencer has had one of the weirdest careers, because I remember back in the day, she was on some comedy show. Oh God, what was the show that she was on?
It got me.
But it was like a very kind of like vulgar, like comedy from like the early 2000s that she was on. I'm gonna try and find it. And she did a lot of like comedy stuff, and then she became kind of like a very serious actor, kind of reminiscent of like John C. Reilly's career, where John C. Reilly has an Oscar, but he's also in Talladega Nights, you know?
Yeah. I don't know where I was first exposed to Octavia Spencer, but everything that I've seen, I mean, it's almost like she's like even though they couldn't be any two different individuals, she's almost like the new what's her name? She played Tina Turner.
I don't know. This was
she's a black actress. That's why you don't know.
We're so tangential today. The show was called Halfway Home.
Oh, okay.
And it was about a bunch of like former addicts, but it was like a comedy. And sorry.
That's what Octavia was in?
Yeah, and it was only on for like 10 episodes before it got canceled.
This is gonna kill me until I find out who it is. Angela Bassett.
Oh, Angela.
It's almost like Octavia Spencer is like the new Angela Bassett, because for a time, dude, Angela Bassett, she's a beautiful, beautiful actress, and everything that she was in was absolutely phenomenal until she started doing Tyler Perry movies. Then I think she kind of like,
God, she looks great for her age. Jesus Christ.
Do you know she's small? Angela Bassett's little.
She is.
Isn't she like 5'5" or something?
She is 63 years old, and she looks.
The hell she is.
She looks like she's 40 years old, if not younger.
There's no way she's 63 years old.
Yeah. That's wild. She is 5'4".
Oh, she's a little bitty.
Isn't it weird that like we have all this information about celebrities? It's just like we know how tall they are, we know their weight.
They don't give a damn about how tall I am, though.
I know.
I'm 6'4".
They know you're about like 1.5 feet from your shoulders, from like your chest up, because that's all they ever see of you.
That's all. No, they see. You're right.
You're never standing, you know?
It's because radio is a sit-down job. Why do you think I do it so well?
It's true. It's true. That ass.
Sitting on the edge of my pants.
Well, should we get into the controversial topic where we end up fighting with each other?
Sure. I'm not in the mood to fight with you, but
we probably won't fight. I think we'll agree on this one.
It's a very boring fight, but go right ahead.
Over the past week, the big news on Twitch. Did you hear about this? The biggest news on Twitch. 2 streamers and a bunch of Twitch chatters have gotten banned from Twitch. One of the streamers being Hassan, who's one of the bigger streamers on Twitch, got banned for 7 days for using the word cracker. Because it's racist, apparently.
In what terminology, though, did he use the word?
He called.
Or what context?
He called someone a cracker.
Yeah, that's a derogatory term.
Yeah, but like the other person who got banned called himself a cracker, and he got banned. I just I don't know. I hear the word cracker and I think it's funny. Like who cares, man? You know. What do you think? You look like you're thinking a lot there.
No, I don't. I don't think a lot about it.
Empty.
It's the word cracker when used in that type of context when referring to a white person, I find it derogatory. Same way that I do with the N-word towards a towards anybody. I think not even just using the word cracker against someone that's white, using it towards someone that's in a derogatory sense. They can be black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever. If it's used in a derogatory sense, it's wrong.
But here's
in my eyes.
But is it bannable? You know, because like here's the thing. You said cracker. You did not say the N-word.
I did not say the N-word.
You know
You're absolutely right.
Like,
because you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Ritz.
Yeah, Ritz. But also, you know what else is a derogatory term that everyone says? You bitch.
Yeah.
People say it all the time. And that is derogatory towards women.
When it comes to,
so like, what's the line here? You know,
there is no line. The line is however these platforms decide to draw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Twitch is notorious for one day being very, very sensitive and one day not being very, very sensitive. I've seen Twitch streamers that are on there screaming the N-word. I see.
Yeah.
I popped in Twitch streamers where they're scandally dressed, you know, and I'm like, there's, 10,000 people sitting there watching, but then yet other people get it's like, you know what, they're going to do whatever they're going to do when they want to do it. And it's not our platform. So, unless you want to create a platform, you have to just go with whatever the hell they do. Hassan was on that list of most highly paid Twitch streamers that we read a few weeks ago. He's got sponsorships that are still going to be cashing it in. 7 days is not going to hurt him, just like it doesn't hurt XQC.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, Hassan is an employee or a contractor.
For sure.
He is under the thumb of them. But I think it's whatever the platform decides to do, who's ever running the algorithm that day.
I mean, like, I agree. Like, the platform can do whatever they want. It's their platform. I don't disagree with that. But personally, I think it's stupid. I want to be able to say cracker all the time. I always greet my great friends by saying, "What up, cracker?" You know, that is it better if we use cracker? Would that be more acceptable or
no? I would never refer to you as that.
Why not?
And you couldn't refer to it. You couldn't refer to me as the N-word with the or the hard R.
I do think that the historical ramifications of those two words are very different, though. Don't you?
I agree.
Like very different histories with those things.
I've never once ever referred to anyone as that at all. Never once. Oh. Not even a white friend. I don't.
I'm gonna start.
Don't you dare refer to V as that. I will punch you in your mind's movie. That's your head.
In my mind.
Your mind movie.
But I do think
I think it's dumb, but I dude, I'm so I'm exhausted personally and professionally by these platforms and their choice to enforce rules and not to enforce rules and their inconsistencies.
I think that's where
it's frustrating to me, but I could only imagine how frustrating it is to the people that are making, hundreds of thousands of dollars off these platforms.
Well, I think that's where you hit the nail on the head there, my honky. I'm sorry. I might cut that out.
If you refer to me as that, I get to refer to you as what I want to refer to you as.
Yeah. What's that?
I can't say that on the
show. I don't care. No one's listening. Oh, dude, if we get canceled, that's going to be the biggest thing for this channel to ever happen. So, I mean, shit.
Jesus.
But, no, I think you hit the nail on the head, though. And the reason I have, and it, the platform could be like, yeah, don't say cracker, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. Don't say cracker. It's, it has been funny, all the people who have been doing like cracker tier lists where they're like rating crackers on Twitch. It's been really funny. But that's the biggest problem though, because another person who got banned is a guy named Vosh, who, you know, I've consumed some of his content. He has some okay takes from time to time. But one thing I really dislike about the guy, and the reason I really don't watch him much, is he makes really ableist comments a lot. You know, well, he'll say the R word, or, you know,
ableist.
Yeah, okay. yeah, ableist. Like, he says the R word, and, you know, I take that shit pretty seriously. And so it's like, well, you seem pretty. It just seems pretty weird that you're gonna like ban him for saying cracker when he's literally, you know, saying retard constantly, which, you know, one seems more severe than the other to me.
It's way inconsistent. And here's the
that's what's frustrating to me. I don't care. Like, you can ban me for saying cracker or whatever. But I am white, and that is my right to say it. God damn it!
This is the one in your world. Yes, if you feel that way, it's not. I'm African American, and I'm not referring to myself as the N word.
I'm gonna start referring to myself as a cracker all the time now.
I will refer to myself as in a humor moment, but it will be a self-deprecating humor moment. Here's the thing.
Well, that's what Vosh got banned for, though. Calling himself a cracker.
If we got what we wanted from these platforms, consistency, the platforms wouldn't exist. They wouldn't. Because then if what you think, you don't like the ableist phrases, someone else doesn't like this phrase, and if these social platforms took all of the phrases that people didn't like or found offensive, they wouldn't exist. They would just be a whole lot of people just sitting there not saying.
So why
anything.
Are you banning cracker? You know?
Exactly. It's inconsistent. Confusing. And so we're just going to have to deal with the inconsistencies. It's the same thing on like the TikToks. It's the same thing on Facebook. Facebook has been in front of freaking Congress because of their inconsistencies with patrolling racial rhetoric and their involvement in the January 6th insurrection and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's inconsistent where I can't go in, where a comedian friend of mine can't go in onto somebody else's post on Facebook and call them a bitch without getting banned. And that's them commenting in someone else's comments.
Right, yeah.
In a jokingly fashion. And they get banned. You know, they get in Facebook jail.
Yeah, I've got 2 strikes.
Everybody's just overly all these platforms are overly sensitive because a very small segment of people are overly sensitive, and it's that very small segment of people that are overly sensitive that gets everything in an uproar, but then they're not consistent with anything. And
well, don't
that's
get
just
me
the
wrong,
way that they are.
I'm not opposed to. I'm actually pro. Like, you know, you should maybe police your platforms a bit. You know, you don't want hateful rhetoric, you know, spreading on your platform. You don't want that shit.
But then the question is, what is the true definition of hateful rhetoric?
Not cracker.
Right, but in somebody else's mind, that is hateful rhetoric.
Yeah. So is bitch, though. Like, there's certain degrees, man.
Exactly. There's certain degrees, but who's to set those degrees? I'm not arguing against you. I'm arguing I'm counter arguing your point. I see your point. I accept your point. I'm not disagreeing with your point, but I'm putting myself in the mindset of there's nothing ever that could be established that would be satisfactory to all involved.
Well, I personally think bitch is worse than cracker, because I guess the thing is with a derogatory word towards white people, just isn't as bad. And, you know, this is where people will come for me, I guess, but whatever. I'll just say it anyway. White people have never been oppressed. We're also not a real thing. White is a made up thing. That's not anyone's real identity. You know, I'm actually just Irish and German. You know, and the reason the N-word.
Don't forget translucent. And translucent,
for sure. That is me, and that is offensive. I'm gonna ban you for that. You've taken it too far.
Well, then you know what? I'm offended that I'm opaque, so I'm gonna ban you for making me opaque.
Yeah, I guess just like a word like the N-word. First of all, we won't even say it because it's so offensive.
Believe it or not,
and
there's a YouTube algorithm for that.
Well, also
if they choose to run it, your show gets blocked.
Also, it's not exactly a word I want to say anyway, because it's a word like steeped in pretty terrible history, and cracker just isn't. Bitch is worse. That's steeped in some pretty sexist history.
Bitch. How dare you?
But I love saying bitch, and I will continue saying bitch. You can't stop me.
Well, how else are you supposed to call a female dog?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I guess that's kind of where my line is. Cracker isn't referring to any sort of oppressed group at all.
True. That's a very interesting take on it. I personally feel that if you find it personally derogatory and others find it personally derogatory, it might be best not to use it. You won't hear me use it outside of the context of a show. Then that's just my personal choice. I don't want to be around someone else that's going to throw it around. If you walked into my home, which I wish you would, if you walked into my home and just like walking around the room like crack, 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 I would be very uncomfortable.
It is offensive to me because growing up, my family called me crack toe, just because my toe would crack all the time.
Well, yeah, and you have really weird feet.
I do, and they crack a lot. How have you seen my feet?
I've never seen your feet. Okay. I was just making a joke.
Wait a second here.
Clearly, you have cute feet. At least you have an arch. I have elephant feet.
Yeah, I believe
all
it.
Flat.
Well, I am official. You know how PewDiePie calls his fan base, the bros or whatever, and
I thought they were called the pews.
Yeah, the pewds or whatever. YouTubers have their fan bases. Ours is boyos. It has been since the start. But I think
Fat Guy Radio shows they're fat. They're fatnatics.
The fatnatics. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually thinking about changing it over at Lonercast to what up, crackers? That's the. That's gonna be
the day you make that. The day you make that official is the last day that I stop doing this show, but still live with you.
Yeah, it's official right now.
Austin, don't you ever use that word.
It's offensive.
All of them. I don't use the N-word. I don't want anybody around me using the N-word. I even stopped my little brother from using it.
Yeah.
He would refer to me. I'm like, who are you talking to? You're not talking to me. Because I'm not the N-word, bruh. I choose not to use it. I choose not to support people that do use it.
Yeah.
And if I ever heard Octavia Spencer in a movie use it, I'm probably going to fast forward that part and watch the rest of it. Because
well, and if I had a friend and I called him a cracker, which that's not really something I would ever do. Maybe I will now.
You do it to Nick all the time.
Yeah, what up, cracker? But like if Nick came up to me and was like, "Please, just don't call me that," I would stop. I'd respect that. So like, don't get me wrong.
If you're drunk.
Well, it might slip out. It is a word I use often.
The N-word too. The N-word too.
No. Yeah. So like if someone was like, don't use that, but that's true for any word, right? Like if, my grandma doesn't like it when I say, well, my grandma's dead, but when she was alive, my grandma didn't like it when I said God, so I wouldn't say that around her.
Oh yeah.
But I say that all the time. Or she didn't even like the word crap, cause she's like, what are you trying to say? That's the same as shit. You don't say crap. And
but grandma, you just said shit.
She's like, I'm the adult here, okay? And I'm like, Grandma, I'm 25.
Speaking of grandmas, I had a grandma moment earlier today when I went into an old neighborhood of mine, and a flood of memories came back.
Okay,
because I walked on ground that I have not walked on in probably 30 years. That's how significant it was. It's amazing.
Please
It was
elaborate.
an amazing moment. I'm trying not to because it's going to be crossover, Austin.
Just crossover. Who cares?
I know,
Austin.
Austin, listen to me. I know, okay? Don't fire off text messages. Baby, I know, okay? You just calm your little man tease there. And
well, Austin knows for sure.
It's all jokes.
I'm going to talk about the Matrix
Austin.
on Last Week in Games, so it doesn't matter. Go for it.
I love you, Austin. I love you. I want you to sit on my lap. Talk about the first thing that pops up. No, I went to a part of town from my youth that I've only driven by. I've never stopped and got out and actually physically walked on the ground. And I know that sounds weird, but it was really cathartic, and it was a very crystallizing moment. Believe it or not, I went to an old restaurant that my family has frequented, the La Canasta, the original La Canasta in Central Phoenix, and you're very white, so you would know nothing of it, but it's a place of reverence to people that grew up in the Matthew Henson projects, as I did.
Would you say I have like a saltine complexion?
More cracked pepper.
Okay. A white pepper, yes.
Oh, white pepper is very spicy. I love white pepper. But anyway, so I went to this restaurant because it's the holiday season, and I wanted to get some tamales. And I drive adjacent to this place when I'm going to work at the arena, and I saw that they were offering holiday tamales, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I overpay for them tremendously. I'm not even going to tell you how much I paid.
I love tamales, though. I get it.
For 24 tamales. I'm not even going to tell you how much it is. You want to know how much it is? Listen to the upcoming Christmas episode of Fat Guy Radio Show when I really go into detail about this.
Yeah.
But I was there, and I got my order, and I had to wait a few minutes inside the restaurant, and I'm looking at the people, and I walked around the restaurant a little bit. It hadn't changed at all. Nothing had changed. And I was immediately reverted back to little 4th grade Cory, walking up to that restaurant. The windows were still the same. They have this one area that's a doorway that has a display cooler in the doorway and a cash register put on top of it to make like a second serving window. That's still there. The lock, the doorknob to access the back of the kitchen, all of that is still there. The only thing that has really changed about that place is the side parking lot. That's it. The parking spaces are the same. The signs on the wall on the inside are the same. They have those big, huge, bumpy Mexican tiles running throughout the entire restaurant. Nothing has changed about that place other than their prices and their process. They don't have seating, and the attitudes. Everyone there has an attitude, but they've always had an attitude. If I would have got the attitude that I got from that lady at any other restaurant, I would have walked out. But for some reason, I felt that because she had an attitude with me, that was her hug. That was her love language.
Oh, so familiar.
But I was there, dude. And I got my order, and I went back out, and I put my order in my car. And then I stood outside my car, and I recorded a video. I won't play it on Jake and Cory. But I recorded a video. And in that spot that I was standing, I saw where the Matthew Henson projects used to stand. I saw my old elementary school. I was in the parking lot of the La Canasta, and I saw the last church my grandmother went to. And the church that we used to always walk up the street every Saturday. Our cousins, we would fight to go to grandma's house on Saturday so that we could walk up a block up the street to go into the church to help grandma clean the pews in the church. Grandma would be doing stuff in the back, but we would clean the pews, and we would get this really weird oil and this nasty rag. And grandma would walk the pews and drop little drops of oil on the pews because they were original wood pews. I don't know if they're still there or not. And then we would go behind grandma and there'd be about 4 of us and we'd rub the oil into the pews. And that's what we did. And I was standing across the street from that building and I have not stood close to that building, that close in almost, Jesus, I don't even know how long.
Did you?
Let me see. Grandma died in 1999. So yeah, since 1999.
Did you ever, when your grandma?
It was just really cathartic.
When your grandma told you to clean the pews, did you ever hold up finger guns and go pew pew?
No. I wasn't a little smart ass when I was around Grandma Blaze.
That's not a smart ass. That's just like
that is smart. That's cute kid. Grandma whooped us with a Hot Wheels track
for saying pew pew
and a switch
for saying pew
and
pew.
if you got smart with Grandma on the way back, she would make you pull a switch off the switch tree and then tear your ass up when you got into the house. And this was back in the day where if a neighbor or somebody, a passerby heard you getting a whooping, there wasn't no calling the police. They would cheer your grandmother on for beating your ass.
They were like, "Oh, Cory probably said pew pew again to Grandma." The fuck
probably
is that
called
kid
her,
thinking?
He probably called her a C word or something. I don't know, but dude, I grew up in an area.
Oh my God!
In a generation of time where your neighbor would whoop you.
Yeah.
And then walk you to your house and tell your parents why they whooped you.
Yeah, it's probably good that doesn't happen.
That's your culture. In my culture, I think it was a good thing.
Maybe
because look how successful I am now.
Yeah, well,
some of my cousins deserve to be beat by the neighbors.
Well, I don't know.
But here's one thing that I will share. Yeah, well, Jake, you didn't grow up in a physical punishment.
I never said I didn't, but it's still probably not the best.
No, it's.
I will stand by that wholeheartedly.
I think we need to beat our kids again.
No,
we need to start beating our kids again.
I think it's probably
especially these pandemic babies. They need to be beat.
Yeah, they should come out of the womb. You punch them in the face.
I agree, and the doctor.
Yeah, for sure.
And anytime your teacher calls and tells you that your kid is being dumb in school, don't yell at the teacher. Beat the hell out your kid. But I also may or may not have ran into a family member that I have not seen in a very, very long time. And I was standing right behind her. And I was like, because I was fully masked up, I had my dark sunglasses on and my hat down, even though I was back in my childhood home, I didn't want to get recognized. No, I didn't beat her. I should have. But I noticed her and I was like, I think I know who that is. But I'm not going to introduce myself. And I'm not going to ask if she is who I think she was. Because when you, I don't know about you, Jake, but when I run into somebody that I haven't seen in a long time that may or may not be a distant cousin or family member, and you reconnect in that moment, the first thing that's out of their mouth is who died. And I don't want to hear about death. I'm so sick of death. I'm exhausted from death.
See,
I don't want to hear anything about somebody dying. So I didn't introduce myself because I didn't want to learn if she was in fact one of my distant family members. I didn't want to learn who had died. Because I wouldn't, if she was who I thought she was, that would have been the first thing out of her mouth. That she would have been like, well, so and so passed.
Oh, Sherry
away.
died. Yeah.
I didn't want to hear that. I was having a good moment. I was there. And
feeling nostalgic.
A lot of other things happen. You'll have to tune in to Fat Guy to find out the other stupid shit. But it was just a really great moment when you talked about when you mentioned Grandma.
See what happens to me when I run into someone. I'm like, oh my God, I was such good friends with them, and I go up to them, and every time it doesn't fail, Cory. They're like, who are you? Every time.
Oh, every time. If I would have took my mask off,
like I would never be a friend. I would never be friends with a cracker like you.
In my
we're not on Twitch. It's okay. We're not.
I hate you so much. If I would have took my mask off and my glasses off while I was there, at the La Canasta, I probably would have been recognized and people would have figured out who I was. but I didn't. I kept my sunglasses on, and my mask off.
You are even with the glasses. You're a very recognizable human.
Not with the mask though. I have my mask.
I probably
on.
still. Well, of course I would though.
Well, yeah, because you see me every day. But people that haven't seen me every day, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess,
no.
but I don't know. I feel like you're.
And then there's always very interesting things that happen when you go down to the hood, Jake. As I'm holding up a picture to the camera for Jake to see.
What the hell is
an
that?
advanced elotes man?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's an elotes man that pretty much hooked his cart to a golf cart.
That's smart. It's a good business model, you know.
I'm like, man, they are advanced down here. They are advanced down here in the hood.
I love the entrepreneurial spirit, you know. I love that shit.
That's very true. And I also bought I bought something new. I know we're almost out of time. I bought something new. I bought a house coat. Do you have a house coat, Jake?
What, like Mr. Rogers?
Like no, not like Mr. Rogers, like a robe. Not a bathrobe, but just a robe.
Like made of satin? Like
well, they are, some of them are made of satin, yes.
Yeah, like a house robe. Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a house robe or one that's made of satin? Dude, no. I would totally buy you a robe, but it would be one that's like short. So if it would tie, but then
I would wear that all the time. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, please. You can't wear anything under it. So anyway, I bought myself a new really big plush freaking robe. I'm showing Jake a picture of the
oh my God.
It's this thick. Thing is engulfing.
Oh my God. You look like it is like your Buzz Lightyear. Like
what it is that when I put it on, I feel like I'm a monk because it has a hoodie too. But dude, it's been so chilly in the mornings here in Arizona.
Yeah, it's been getting cold.
And there's not my bed is heated. And when I get out of my bed, you know, I'm like looking for you. And when I don't when I don't find you, then I'm like, okay, the next best thing to a morning hug is going to be this really big, thick robe. And it goes from head to toe. And it is so soft and it's so huge. And I mean, dude, both of us can get in it. I ordered it way too big, but I'm okay that I ordered it way too big. Now, here's the thing. You can last about a couple hours in that thing before you got to open it up and get a breather. Because if not, you're just steaming yourself.
Yeah, I'm very much like when I'm around the house, I'm very much a sweatpants kind of guy. Like
gray sweatpants?
Yeah. Just to like, you know, sweatpants and like a sweatshirt, you know? That's the move. I don't need like a big...
No wife beater, sweatpants and a wife beater?
Well, no, because it's cold.
You can show your Foo Fighters.
You gotta wear it because it's cold. You know, that's the whole thing. Otherwise, I'd just be naked. Like, come on.
In a world. I bought this thing and I said, you know what? I've always wanted a big, huge robe, and I finally found one. Won't mention how much I paid for it, but it wasn't cheap because I ordered it big and I ordered it plush. It's not reversible. But when I got it, it took me like freaking 2 hours to clean it because it only washes on like gentle cycle, and gentle cycle is slow. And then it's so thick that you can't dry it on high heat. You have to dry it on low heat. So it was like a 20 minute wash, but like an hour and 40-minute drying time.
It's like a towel.
But it was all worth it though. I put extra dryer sheets and extra downy. I'm such a domestic.
well, Cory, I have to pee really bad, and the reason I bring that up is because if I don't go now, we all know what happens to crackers when they get wet. So we should probably wrap this up. It had to happen, dude.
Well, since Jake has to pee, let me tell you about the theory of relativity.
Yeah. Can you tell me about string theory, actually? I would love to know.
No, I can tell you about a rushing brook, a dripping faucet,
yes,
a
waterfall, Niagara Falls,
which is what's going to happen to you after this. So, well, Jake, we did it.
We made it. We made it. Another episode down. Thousands more to go. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you're still here, I appreciate you sticking around to the end. That is so
Hi, Austin.
So kind of you. Oh my God.
I love you.
You deserve a gold star. Here it is. Ting. I'm gonna insert a triangle sound. Ting. Hi,
Austin.
Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the new YouTube channel. I would appreciate that a lot. Tell your friends. Make sure you check out Fat Guy Radio Show Snackable.
There we go.
Which is
the main show doesn't need any help. The Snackable. Yeah, our last episode totally bombed. Come on, people. I talked about freaking The Voice.
I love your Snackables. I think they're my favorite content that you do, actually.
Well, according to the numbers, you and 2 other people did.
Oh, well. All the other episodes are doing well, though.
I know that. Yeah. Stupid YouTube algorithm.
It'll catch up.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Lonercast too, which is the main channel where we're gonna have a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler cast. Come on, check it out. And if you want to watch that live, go to twitch.tv/Lonercast, where we do spoiler casts, last week in games, and I play video games over there. So very original.
Well,
content.
Jake, you've got to pee. I've got to watch. So 5, 6, 7, 8.